technology that is built for your every sense. Acer Pure from Acer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, there is a piece of breaking news that is coming in. Tehseen has already referred to it, so he's our breaking editor this morning. The stage set for the high-stake VP elections, voting currently underway. One of the parties that is joining the list of those abstaining is Akali Dal Waris Pathanbe. They have two MPs. Both MPs are boycotting the vice presidential elections, but Tehseen's news seems to be that Amritpal never actually applied to step out and vote. So, so he'll not be voting, which means he's abstaining.
He's abstaining. Which works for the BJP.
Which works, it definitely does. Neeraja ji, you're joining us on the broadcast. Any views on how the campaigning for this election happened? Come to think of it, it was not as cantankerous as it could have been. Yes, we know that for Justice Sudarshan Reddy, there was something said about, Salva Judum, the fact that he's someone who hampered India's fight against Naxalism, but those weren't major or serious charges made. Again, his meeting with Lalu Prasad Yadav. The campaigning has been fairly pleasant, would you say, which is very unlikely in our political system and the political ecosystem we live in right now?
You're right. The campaigning has been very low-key this time on the vice presidential poll compared to the past elections. And yet all eyes are on what's going to happen today, not because the outcome is not known, but because how many people will cross over. And that is linked to, does the Prime Minister continue to have a grip over his party and government, or is this beginning to weaken? Because the last weeks have seen a lot of challenges for this government, whether it's Trump's tariffs, navigating a new world order, reaching out to the SCO, China and Russia in a new way, and so on. And also the exit of Mr. Dhankar, the vice president, in the middle of the term for perceived differences with the government of the day, which has never happened before. And that full story has not yet come out from both sides about what went wrong. But given all that, all eyes are on today. And I would say the Prime Minister has made a very important point about how to vote. Because I remember 1997 when Krishan Kant became the vice president. It's a long time ago, not the last two elections I'm referring to. And he got 441 votes, I remember. And Mr. Surjit Singh Barnala of the Akali Dal had got, I think, 200 something. And there were as many as 46 votes that were invalid. Of course, 30 abstentions. There was cross-voting. But of course, it wasn't a big deal because, it was a normal, usual election. The candidate of the incumbent government tends to win. But this time, it has become a high-stake election for the reasons I outlined.
All right.
And that's why all eyes are on today.
Manisha Priyam is joining us on the broadcast as well. Manisha Priyam, as we speak, there's a report in today's newspapers that Mr. Dhankar has actually applied for accommodation in Lutyens. He, as a ex-vice president, of course, is entitled to it. The government still making up its mind which bungalow in Lutyens, Delhi, they have to allot to him. Given that the parting has not been very pleasant, it has been surrounded under a shroud of mystery, as it were. The full story from both sides still not been told. But can I ask you what the vice presidential results by the end of the day will tell us about the health of India's democracy, the health of the NDA, and the health of the India Alliance?
So, 2-3 things. You framed the question by giving a context of the vice president erstwhile, he resigned or he was forced out, we don't know. And you gave that context of his house and etc. And the second point, I'm not a senior journalist, I'm a senior academic, so just a minor amendment. Now, I would like to tell you that this election is most important for this country, for the simple fact that the country does not know why the political party in power, the ruling party, ushered out the erstwhile vice president. The country believes that there's a certain sanctity to these posts, And these posts, people may have risen up to these posts through party political mechanisms, but once they get to these posts are considered bipartisan, non-political, and this country loves its erstwhile presidents, and therefore one would want to understand at some point as to how the exit of the erstwhile vice president went the way it did. And that context is the most important context in terms of the election being held today. It's simply not about how many ballots will be invalid, etc. The second important point is that yes, although it may have been said that it's an ideological battle versus a battle for the nation, I think it's an ideological battle on both sides. We all know that most respected Sri Chandapuram Ponnaswamy Radhakrishnan has been a politician, member of parliament from Coimbatore, and has been an RSS member. So in a sense, going back to choosing an RSS candidate is putting forward a strong ideological standpoint on behalf of the BJP. Remember, this doesn't look like an NDA candidature as much as it looks like the RSS saying that this is our candidate. I would also like to point out that, these last few minutes can be used to politically analyze the situation. After this, I assume that Shri C.P. Radhakrishnan ji will be the Vice President of India, and I, as a citizen of India, would accord him the respect that is due to his chair, and I would not engage in this discussion. But I do not forget that Shri C.P. Radhakrishnan belongs to the Kongu Vellalar Gondan community, and the BJP has been eyeing this particular community to make its electoral foray in this southern state. Remember, for the longest time, this is a state where it has had an anti-social justice agenda that it could have gone forward with, but the BJP now comes up with a new strategy and the OBC card being played. So the mix of the OBC card and the Tamil card together. But remember also that the identity card or the ideology of the RSS is something that has still not swayed Stalin, who still believes that it's the ideology that will trump anything else. So it's an ideological battle, but it's a million ideological battles and not just one. I would say at this point of time, the country and its citizens are looking for ideologies. Let's talk about nationalism on another program. But the country loves its million ideologies melted historically and in context.
Manisha ji, as we speak, my colleague Priyanka, I beg your pardon, has managed to speak to one of the candidates, Justice Sudarshan Reddy. Let's quickly